Welcome to the Awakened Human Podcast, the place to be for highly progressive yet extremely grounded intuitive guidance, energetic support, metaphysical tools, and higher consciousness for highly successful, ambitious, soul-centered visionaries and leaders like you who want to make a global impact and achieve your highest fulfillment by aligning with your soul's true divine agenda and your role in God's plan of lighted creation, and by utilizing your divine gifts, talents, and abilities from the higher realms. We do this by working with the non-physical realms of higher guidance, energy, intuition, and powerful metaphysical tools for healing and transformation. We understand that the real change and transformation that's being called for on planet Earth and in our own lives and our own businesses doesn't come from outside of us, but rather from within. And that the change that we desire to experience in our lives and in our world requires us to change from the inside. I'm your host, Lori Ann Spagna. I'm a best-selling author, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, energy worker, ascension guide, multidimensional channel, animal communicator, visionary, lightworker, and luminary. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping thousands and thousands of humans and animals all over the world in service and contribution to the light, which is the expansion, the upliftment, the evolution of humanity, to awaken, to uplift, and to align with our true divine source, which exists within each and every one of us. It is my passion, joy, and purpose to share this information, energy, and consciousness with you. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing time with me. Let's get started. Greetings, blessings, beloveds. Thank you so much for being here for another episode of the Awakened Elevated Human. I'm so happy and grateful that you're here. And of course, I'm honored that you are taking time to spend some sacred space, to be in sacred space and spend some sacred time with me today. So I would love to chat with you today briefly about the 100th Monkey Effect and understanding what that is and how we as visionaries and light workers and light leaders and ambitious entrepreneurs, ambitious solopreneurs who are truly heart-centered can understand how we can utilize 100th Monkey Effect to really serve, support, and assist. And one of the concepts I want to introduce you to is the psychic boardroom. And I teach about the psychic boardroom inside of the Sacred Visionary Mentorship Program. So I won't be able to go too much into it today, but I want to explain this and how these two are linked and how you can use them in your service. Because like so many of you are coaches and healers and mentors and leaders of your own communities, whether they're with people or animals, and you're using, this is what I teach is all about how to use more of these psychic gifts to help others and to help ourselves and to create a better world in the new paradigm, right? So one of the things that is so amazing is when you start recognizing how the 100th Monkey Effect is working and how amazing it is that when you're in space with somebody, when you're in the same space as somebody, physical space, or just through, live space, being in even if it's on a video call or in a classroom setting, you are sharing psychic space with that person. Even right now, you're listening to me in a podcast, either on one of the podcast services or on YouTube. And in so doing, you're in a sense sharing psychic space with me, right? Because from a place of consciousness, I'm here with you now, even if my physical body isn't with you in the immediate space. And so this concept of the psychic boardroom is a very powerful concept to utilize in not only helping the 100th Monkey Effect, which is ultimately, let's first define the 100th Monkey Effect. And my dog is having a love affair with the squirrel behind, but you can't probably see the squirrel. But this squirrel is like completely, she was in the last episode too. She comes a lot. Completely, I so want to watch it. They are flirting in the biggest way, but you can't see it. Let me see if I can. Right, this isn't what podcasts are supposed to be like, but okay, we're outside the norm. Can you see? No. Oh, you can just barely get a glimmer of her tail there. Probably not. She's behind the panel behind me. Okay, let me just keep going with what I'm doing here. So, 100th Monkey Effect, right? A lot of people, especially in the light worker community and in the light leader community, are wondering, like, what's the deal? Has the 100th Monkey Effect started? You have to kind of get this. We exist in a reality where the linear experience, day to day to day, that's how we're experiencing life through the linear experience. But ultimately, everything is here and now. Everything is here and now. So the 100th Monkey Effect has already happened. From a linear perspective, it could be said that it happened the moment Jesus became enlightened, or even further back, Buddha became enlightened. Like, it happened the moment one being became enlightened, because enlightenment, in a sense, is a oneness with source. And the moment you're in oneness with source and with all that is, your oneness creates the ripple effect of every other individuated being who is or is not yet in the consciousness of oneness with that source, right? Stay with me, because I know for those of you who are entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, this is going to help you when we get into this concept of psychic boardroom. So the oneness, the ripple effect, therefore, the 100th monkey effect, right? And you know what 100th monkey is, right? It's a literal scientific experiment or discovery. You can research it, where monkeys on one island started washing their food in the water, and then monkeys on another island who had no direct connection in the physical with those other monkeys started doing the same behavior. And the awareness, the study was that somehow, because these monkeys started doing it, these other monkeys somehow learned it. How did they learn it? No one taught them, and yet they started doing it while they were sharing space, in a sense, psychically, which is mentally, that information from those monkeys of, oh, look, it's so good when we wash our food, psychically. And I'm explaining this in a very layman's terms, so you can look it up and get the science behind it, right? But those other monkeys on the separate island, completely separate from the first monkeys, start doing it, right? That's the 100th monkey effect. And that the idea was that when enough monkeys on island one, 100 was the critical number, did it, that's when the next island was triggered, the monkeys on the next island. And so this concept is, when enough humans come into enlightenment, an enlightened state, so will it be that the rest of humans will just naturally start knowing and coming into an enlightened state. So right now, part of the evolution of consciousness is that as more and more humans evolve and up level and come into more of an enlightened state, all other humans will just domino effect, right? 100th monkey will start coming into that state without having to necessarily like work at it, right? And so what I'm suggesting and saying, that this has already happened, but you obviously, we can't really see it globally because there's a domino effect, and not every domino has been, tumbled, right, or touched in the 8 billion people on the planet estimated. So the psychic boardroom part of it is that when you're sharing psychic space with somebody, you can start tapping into, when you start learning how, but it happens automatically too, to their consciousness. You can start being in vibrational harmony, same thing, resonance with that psychic potential, with that person's consciousness, because 100th monkey effect, domino effect, is always happening. So why is this so important for you as a visionary, as a light leader, as an open-hearted, ambitious coach, mentor, healer, or some kind of professional, right? Entrepreneur, solopreneur, is that you can help. First of all, you will grow and up level the more you are putting yourself in psychic space with people who are embodying the qualities that you have. That means go to their retreats, take their class. Like, that's what I offer, of course, being around. And that's what the coaching concept is too, in part, that when you put yourself around other people who embody the qualities, the virtues, the behaviors, that the knowings that you want, you're going to become more resonant with them. And at the same time, know this, that when your students and clients and community members are around you, whatever you grow, evolve, and develop into, and however you learn, they're able to tap into your psychic space, be in your psychic boardroom. And if you develop and cultivate the abilities, like within the Sacred Mentorship Program, I teach how to access theta brainwave very easily, very quickly, very effortlessly. More advanced students learn how to access gamma brainwave and how to develop. I teach a core pillar technique and how to develop the magnetism of the heart brain. There is brain matter in the heart, and the gut brain. There is brain matter in the gut. That is scientifically known now by and studied. For example, Institute of Heart Math has been documenting these truths. But so as you do this, you can learn how to share your offerings with those people with their willingness through psychic boardroom capacities. Now, what does that do and how does that serve? Your people get exponential benefits by you learning how to do that. And you claim exponential benefits by the people you're around who are helping you up level. You see, by being in proximity with other people and learning how to access certain brainwave frequencies and utilizing your connection in ways that are consensual, never to harm anyone and never against someone's free will or without their full and complete conscious free will consent, in ways that are consensual, positively uplifting and growth oriented for all, everyone gets to benefit. And what happens is the learning is no longer old paradigm struggle and hard learning. It's literally receiving. It's like antenna receiving. And the clients that you have will benefit so much more, and you will grow so much more, because not only does everyone in your community have something amazing to offer and to share and contribute, everyone you're around does, everyone you're interacting with. So learning and understanding how to utilize psychic boardroom, tapping in psychically, extrasensorily to the information that is available in any endeavor like that is incredibly powerful and further progresses the consciousness of the whole of humanity. Now, what does that mean? That means we get to be of service and contribution on a global scale. And before you start saying, well, I don't want anyone stealing my secrets, start knowing this. The more you give, the more you get. The more you share, the more will be shared with you. One of the major reasons I have so many psychic gifts, and I consider myself to be really progressed in the psychic realm, is because I just kept sharing it, giving it. The more you give, the more you get. The more you share, the more is shared with you. Remember, we're all connected to a source of infinite supply that will infinitely supply us with more and more as we open to receive, accept, and allow it. And as we make ourselves vibrationally compatible with it. That's all practice. But as it happens, as we do it, as we engage with it, there's always more. It's infinite. So, and that's part of the evolution, because we're just going to get more and more. We're no longer playing from lack and limitation. We're playing with expansion. So I would like to invite you to learn more about how to access your capacity to play with this concept of the psychic boardroom, knowing that as you learn how to utilize higher brainwave functions and how to utilize psychic boardroom potential, and that not only will you be gaining infinitely more knowledge, wisdom, consciousness, tools, abilities, and talents by putting yourself in proximity with people who have those tools, talents, abilities, virtues, gifts, qualities, wisdom, knowledge, etc. That you will gain that just from being in proximity with them, but you will also share it with your community who will be part of the ripple effect of the global mass awakening, and that your unique gifts and offerings will expand exponentially the more you level up. Now, learning how to utilize these gifts and talents is quite easy, but it is not passive. It's not something you can passively sit by unless you want to be the final domino or one of the few of the final domino, right? As long as you want to be part of the evolution, riding the wave, surfing the wave, then this is something you're going to want to get in on. You're going to want to start knowing. And this is why I say, if you're an ambitious, heart-centered entrepreneur, solopreneur, light leader who truly wants to have a global impact, and that's what you're here for, learning how to utilize psychic boardroom concept, utilizing higher functioning of the brain, including other brain waves, and learning how to tap in and share that in ways that are good and right and divinely aligned, will not only grow you infinitely, but it will serve your clients and your students infinitely as well, and will ultimately also serve the greater good, the collective of humanity, because that's how this kind of 100th monkey effect works. The domino and ripple effect is exponential. It's beyond measure. And you can have a great, magnificent role in that, in contributing as you learn to work with your higher functioning abilities and your telepathic abilities, your ability to access these extrasensory talents and gifts, including this concept of the psychic boardroom. Now, I know I didn't go into all of the specifics and the teachings specifically in this particular class or in this particular podcast. It takes a little more time than we have for here, but I can assure you it is easily learnable. It's definitely something I teach, and it's definitely something that you have access to. And it is an amazing gift and talent. It makes learning so much easier. In fact, it's in all of my Akashic Records classes too, which are part of the Sacred Visionary, where I teach people just to download information. It's all of my psychic development classes as well. It's just about downloading information and then sharing it outward. It's a very easy practice to develop. It does require active participation, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that expands your own knowledge and wisdom about how you can learn in a whole new way that does not require arduous studying and does not require difficult learning and lengthy, reading. It's more about accessing knowledge and information that is available to you through proximity in shared psychic space. And that is essentially what psychic boardroom means. And utilizing tools of the higher mind and higher consciousness, which that part is something you have to learn. But again, it's very easy to learn and fun too, which I have dedicated my life to, and how you can really helps you to see more of how you can make global impact. I hope this has been helpful and fun for you. And I want to thank you so much for participating. And I am so grateful for you sharing sacred space and time and being here, and mostly for you being your most magnificent, most benevolent best self. Thank you for your role in this game of humanity's evolution and shifting of consciousness. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, farewell for now. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening today. If you loved the show and if you benefited in any way, if it helped you to up-level or expand your consciousness, if you gained any new insights or ideas, if it made you think or become more aware, or if there were some strategies or intuition that you may have benefited from in any way, would you please do me 2 easy and simple favors? First, if you would be willing to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful. And second, if you're willing to share this show with anyone else who would benefit, you can either post it on your social media or just email it to someone and share it with another person or any other people. It would be so awesome. This kind of thing is so helpful in expanding consciousness on the planet and helping others to benefit from this kind of teaching, which just simply isn't generally readily available in the mainstream. So sharing it really helps others benefit and helps our planet evolve and awaken. Plus, expressing gratitude and generosity in this way will also expand your capacity to give and receive even more. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for participating and for sharing, and overall, just for being the magnificent, the spectacular, the brilliant, the fabulous, the wonderful you that you truly are, and for allowing yourself to be the very best version of you today and every day. All my love and gratitude to you.